Yo YouTubers, how's it going, all my homies out there? You alright? Alright, I'm doing a special video here for guitar players, right? I've uploaded a lot of videos with me playing tunes and stuff, and for the change I thought if anyone owns a Zoom pedal or Zoom effects pedals or likewise, right? I think Zoom put the similar circuits in the pedals, right? Now, if you're curious, right, for most of my performances, when I'm playing with my busking amplifier, I'm using my busking amp and a Zoom G2NU, right? I'll put the camera on in a minute. You want to look at my ugly head, right? And when I'm actually recording on Steinberg, I'll actually show you it on camera. When I'm using Steinberg, right, I'm usually using, hold on, we're usually going through that thing, right, which is a 24 track studio, but it's my audio interface basically for Steinberg, right, and all the effects are built into that. Right, so if anyone's curious about distortion sounds and things like that, when I'm using that, right, most of my Steinberg recordings, when it's done on the studio, the built-in effects on that are perfect. I don't have to plug an amplifier in or nothing, I don't have to mic anything up, and the distortions on it, I usually use presets, right? I'll do that another time if people like this video. I'll talk about what I used on that. So my distortions in Cubase are usually different. I don't hardly ever use the Cubase amplifier thing, the amp simulator and things like that. It's just such a useful, as an audio interface, that studio is amazing because it's not just an audio interface, it's got every effect you need, every echo, every delay, every chorus, everything, right? Very useful gadget to have if you're into home recording, right? But when I'm playing through my amplifier, I use my Zoom G2NU, right, which is quite an old pedal, right? But I notice with a lot of Zoom products, the good thing about Zoom is they're very cheap, right? And I notice with a lot of Zoom products, the circuits are similar and the settings are similar, and most of the amplifiers, I don't know about the very latest ones, but up to a certain point, most people will have these pedals and have similar. I know these G2NUs are quite popular because you can put like Hank Marvin settings in them, or Steve Vai or whatever, like download other people's settings and that, right? But anyway, I'm going to give you a run through of some of my own tones where I've actually put my own sounds in, my own settings for when I play my own tunes and that. I don't usually use presets, and I normally alter things and tweak things to my own taste, right? And the goal is, obviously, with a busking amplifier, it's not a great amplifier. My Zoom pedal is the actual preamp and everything else, the tone and the all the settings for the equalizer and things like that, echoes, everything. I just use the one pedal at the moment. A bit later on, I might be, if I do go out busking, I might invest in an analog distortion pedal of some kind and an analog delay, I don't know. But this pedal's got everything in it, right? So I'm going to do a little run through of my own settings and show you, if you want to know, if you want to try these sounds yourself, go through each sound one at a time. So you can actually, I only use a couple of sounds, I only use like 3 or 4 different sounds, you know what I mean? Because, and generally speaking, if I was playing in a live band situation, I'd have a Marshall amp cranked up, and like an echo pedal or a flanger or a chorus pedal on the floor. I usually use the overdrive on the amplifiers. I'm not really into stacking distortion sounds. I don't think it's necessary. It's up to, it's in your playing and the dynamics of the songs and stuff like that, right? But anyway, I try and get as realistic sound as I can with this Zoom pedal, right? And I'm going to go through some of the settings. So anyway, I'll get my ugly head off now. And I'm using this, my Hofner Shorty, with the Iron Gear. This is an Iron Gear Hot Slag pickup. It's called a Hot Slag. And it's quite dynamic, right? I was going to use my Yamaha because I've got a front pickup, a neck pickup, my Creamy Pumpkin pickup. But for the strings are a bit like worn out, I need some new strings, and these are still okay. I use gauge 8s, Ernie balls, very light strings, great for blues bends, you know what I mean, like this, you know, this sort of like, you know, that's why, you know, and it just feels good, you know what I mean. I can use 9s and 10s and stuff like that, but because I haven't got a whammy bar, I don't bother with any of that, right? There's a tremolo on my Stratocaster, my Yamaha Strat, but it's just an ordinary Fender Strat kind of, you know, Fender type bridge, so I don't really need any heavy strings on it, right? But anyway, here's my guitar, my Hofner Shorty, and I'll gauge 8 Ernie ball strings, Daddy plectrums. These things are like amazing. I use these because they last forever. I use the same plectrum for months and months and it doesn't wear down. Okay, let's get on with filming the pedal and I'll show you some effects and sounds what I use, right? Let's see if I can do this. I've never done this before, so I've never actually filmed my pedal. Pedal porn. Okay, there's my amplifier there, right? It's not a real guitar amplifier, but it's got a decent speaker on. It's one of those what's it called? QTX or whatever. Yeah, QTX. Quite cheap, you know what I mean? The speaker in it is quite good. Sounds like a real combo amplifier, right? And there's my pedal, right? One of these little fellas. Now, okay, I'm going to go through the settings on each sound. Now this sound I use a lot, right? Ignore the title, ignore the extreme dry, right? Ignore that, right? This is one of me. I usually practice with this sound because it sounds natural like a real amplifier, right? And it's basically a boogie amplifier, a Mesa Boogie sort of clone. Totally dry, totally clean, right? Now, I'll activate the sounds and I'll show you exactly what it's called, right? See? The compression is off. No compression, right? So flick through the effects one at a time. No FX. No noise reduction. No noise reduction, right? And there's the name of the amplifier, the actual distortion. It's called BG Crunch, right? Which means boogie crunch. The gain is full up, the tone is full up, and the level's about 38. Right, this is the most basic sound I use for practicing. And if you might be familiar with one of my tunes on YouTube called Morse Codes, this is what I use because the clarity on it is amazing, right? Next setting, equalizer's off. Equalizer high and low, both off, right? No delay. No, sorry, no oh, what's that? Mod, you know, like no choruses or flanges or anything. No echo, no reverb, and the patch total is on about what, 84, right? And that's basically, so basically with this one sound all I'm using is that boogie crunch, right? BG crunch, which is there, right? There we go. You see, that's in the drive section. Okay, and this is the sound of it. It sounds really boring, but you know, it's the nearest thing I can get to a real combo amplifier though. Right. See, I've got the gain full up like. And then what I tend to do, right, is, you see that setting is B6, right? And then on the next channel, on the next setting, right next to it, I'll put a bit of say this is for me Steve Morse effects, right? You know, if I'm playing a kind of Steve Morse influence. So I press that button, right, to B7, to the next one, B7, and it's exactly the same settings, right, the exact same thing. No compression, everything off except the BG crunch, right, exactly the same. I don't normally boost for me solos and stuff like that, right? And then look, there's a delay on it. I'm not sure which delay that is. It just says delay. It doesn't say analog. I think it's a digital delay, right? And you can see the time in there, right? Just that echo, right? So that like, and everything else is the same. I think the patch level's a little bit higher. I'm not sure, but anyway, it's so that like when it's in B6, you know, so like. Right, I'll go it, and then I go to the next one, very exaggerated echo effect for a kind of Steve Morse like thing, you know, like a. It'll work with the volume up. Right, it sounds quite lively, doesn't it? Right, so that's like one of my favourite sounds on this pedal. It's so simple, just the BG crunch basically on its own, and a bit of echo on it, you know, put them side by side. That's it, you know, it's like putting an echo on and off, like echo on, you know, echo off, echo on, you know, for solos and stuff, right? So that's one of my favourite sounds, right? I don't know if you know what I'm doing here, basically, if you're familiar with a Zoom pedal, right? This will probably work with most digital pedals, but Zoom have got their own circuit, haven't they? Very cheap, these guys, very well worth the money on the heavy duty, you know, portable, battery operated, taken anywhere, heavy duty metal case, right? That's what I love about it, right? Now, okay, now my other favourite sound, what I use a lot, is this one. Now you can hear the noise there straight away, right? This is me kind of like my own solo sound, you know what I mean, right? Now listen to the difference. I'll go back to the first one, right? Listen to that. With a bit of echo. Sounds like a real combo, doesn't it? A boogie, you know, a boogie combo. Now I'll go to this one. This is me, like, you know, on my own sort of tunes where I'm like literally inventing my own kind of style. This is my sound. Little bit of reverb and that, like. Right, now you see that's a bit more of a kind of a modernistic, kind of toneful, like Satriani kind of effect, right? So I'll go through the stages on what I'm using here, right? You know, ignore the word chunky, I don't bother putting any titles in, right? Let's zoom in and let's zoom into the zoom and just show you the settings, right? Compression off, booster. Now, right, so that gives you a little bit of, you know. Right, now I'll turn the booster off, just give you the kind of contrast without the booster. See, it just brings it to life, like brings it to life a bit, like. Right, that's the booster, which you can see the settings. It's the range 3, tone, I think that says 8, and level 88, right? Next one, noise reduction off. That's why you can hear the hum, but it sounds like a real amplifier, you see. You hear that noise. Put noise reduction on, watch. It's gone. But it strangulates the notes, listen. Yeah, right, now listen with it off. Way more sustained without the noise reduction, because you can't really hear them noises when you're actually playing, do you know what I mean? Okay, next one is the main one, the drive, the amp, you know, the distortion effect. Lead, that's what it's called. It's just called lead in the Zoom settings, right? Gain full up, gain 100, tone 30. Is that 30 or 38? Let's have a look. Can't really tell. 30, and the level is 38 or 30. Hold on, let's just use my magnifying glass. 30 and 30. Yeah, fit both on 30, right? Tone and levels on 30, right? The EQ, you can see the settings there, right? I don't know how to describe them, like, but they're all quite high up, near sort of near the top. That's EQ low. EQ high. That's full up on that side. That's in the middle. I think that's full up as well, isn't it? That's right at the top there. Right. Mod off. Delay off. Little bit of reverb. Spring. Decay is on 15. Tone is on 3. And the mix, let's use my magnifying glass, 46. I'm going in great detail in case anyone's got one of these pedals and they just want to mimic me sounds, okay? Don't know why anyone want to do that, like. And then the patch level is about, what, 30, 38? See? 30. But Zoom, that's one thing I complain about Zoom, like, the things are too tiny on the screen, you know, but... Okay, so there's me sounds there. I've just gone through everything, right? The main thing there is that lead thing, right? Because that's what it's for, man, right? You can hear that spring reverb. But it's good for rhythm as well. One of my golden rules, guys, is that I use the same sound for rhythm and lead in a song. I don't like changing from two different sounds, you know what I mean? I like to play a song throughout. And then if I'm playing the lead, it's the same sound, right? Now the same again with this. I've done the same thing, right? I'll go back so you sort of see the CO or whatever. It's CO is the actual, you know, the bank or the, you know, the place, like. And then for leads, in the next one, C1. You see, it's the exact same sound. The exact same sound. So that I'm like, I'm there. And then I go. Right, and I'll just go through that to show you. It's virtually exactly the same. Compression off. Booster, exact same setting. Noise reduction off. Same amp, same lead, same settings. Right, everything the same, EQ exactly the same, except there's a delay on it, which is like, you know, you can set your own delays, don't you, you know what I mean, but like, feedback 42, mix 68, and the time is 914 milliseconds on this one in particular. I use this in a tune called Archimedes in particular, because I like the long delay in it likewise. But delay is off. That's, you see, that's like, that's in the mod section, isn't it? That's in the mod section, that one, like. Right, I'm using the delay in the mod section, and I've got the delay there in case I need to make an alternative echo on it as well. Reverb, spring, exactly the same. Right, patch level, exactly the same, 30. Right, so you see what I'm saying? That's what I do. I have like, I'll go between two sounds, like, you know. Same sound. Now, I don't actually know what amplifier, I can't remember in the brochure what amplifier the lead thing is meant to be. You know, it's meant to be a mimic of a famous amplifier. But it is great for lead solos, right? It's quite heavy as well. You know, for heavy metal, like. Right, so that's another sound I use a lot, right? Hope you got that, the settings. I'm not sure how this is going to sound because I'm just using the camera microphone, right? I'm doing it in high def so it's as clear as possible. Alright, another interesting sound I use, right? Traditional Marshall, a traditional Marshall effect, right? Let's go back. I think it's A3. Right, listen to this now. I've just changed from one setting to another. I've got that one labelled as Marshall, right? Well, listen to this for an authentic, like, 1970s, 80s Marshall distortion. Bit of Angus, isn't it? Just as a comparison, go back to the one I just showed you to show how drastic it is. Two distortions are not the same. Marshall A3. Nice harmonics. I better not do that in case I get a copyright. Right, now the same thing, go through it, right? If you want a traditional Marshall sound, now I've got a compressor on this one to give it that kind of like... Without the compressor, sounds more natural, doesn't it, you know? With the compressor. Right, so rack compressor, threshold is 32, ratio is 7, and the level is 98. No effects, noise reduction is on, Right, here's the, I mean, that's it's needed on this, like. It does kill the sustain a bit, right? See, it kills the sustain a bit. Now, watch what happens when I turn it off. Whoa, listen to that. On, disappears. Right, noise reduction's on. That's about 5, the threshold. The MS drive, which is a Marshall stack drive, MS stands for Marshall stack. Gain is on 96. Wait, that should be on full. No, I've left it on 96 because I just want to just sounding vintage, you know. Tone 38. Or is that 30? No, I think it's 30. Hold on, get my spectacles out again. Yeah, 30. Looks like an 8, doesn't it? I'm on a little screen, you see, a little monitor, so I can't tell, right? And I think the level's on 30 as well, right? So if you want an authentic Angus Young sound, right, that's your MS drive, Marshall stack drive, gain on 96, right? EQ, you can see the settings there, they're all more or less in the same range, except for this one there's a little bit in the middle. That's EQ low, EQ high, literally that one's near the top, that one's a little bit further down, that one's near the middle. You can watch these yourself and pause the screen, can't you, and you know, modulation off, delay off, little bit of room reverb, which is like the decay 22, the tone 5, and the mix 68 to get that, like, you know, make it sounds like it's in a room. Right, total level 38, patch level 38, right? So that's my Marshall sound, my traditional Marshall sound, right? Right, and then I do the same thing with this, put a bit of echo on, right, side by side. A3 is my Marshall sound, and then I go, and I want a bit of echo. There's a little bit of a quick echo, that's like a traditional, like 70s, like. For your solos, right? You know, you. I'm playing it differently so I don't get a copyright strike, right? Up the neck. Now remember, this is a relatively cheap pedal. These are relatively cheap. And my amplifier is just a cheap busking amp, which is about 130 quid. And you can you know, attest to the fact that that tone is nice, isn't it, right? Let's go back clean. There's no other pedals being used, folks. Bit of echo. Right, so that's my Marshall tone, right, folks? If I want a Marshall, traditional 80s or 70s Marshall sound, right? Hope you got the settings there, you know. Let's do a comparison, right? Go compare. This is the Marshall, clean, you know, without an echo. Now go to my boogie sound, right? The first one I showed you. Listen to the difference. That's the difference between a boogie and a Marshall. You know, boogie crunch, go back to the Marshall. That's what I like doing, you know, compare the different sounds. And you realise how versatile these pedals are. You know, it's like having different amplifiers in a box, you know. If you can't afford an amplifier, like. There's those harmonics. Okay, so that's the Marshall sound. Right, the next sound I'm going to show you, it's really good fun. It's the Rectifier sound. Now listen to the difference between these two sounds. The level will go up a little bit because I always have my boogie Rectifier higher, right? Okay, now listen to the difference, right? Let's go to the boogie, which is C4. Right. Quite noisy. Now listen to this for the boogie amp. That sounds just like a rectifier, doesn't it? A bit like. That's a boogie rectifier sound. I mean, all in one box, guys. All in one box. These are about, you can get these for about like 90 quid online if you can find someone who's willing to sell them, like. They're very cheap and they're heavy duty, right? Okay, I'll go through the settings. Compression off. Booster, literally on 5, nearly full up that. Range, the booster range is full up. The tone is on 10, is it 18? Let's have a look. 10, it's on 10, right? And the level 80, the level is on 80, that's the booster, right? I'll do a difference with the booster and without. Not much difference, like. Who's that sound like? Bit of ZZ Top there, with the booster on. I use this for punk rock. You know, it's the punk rock sound, right? Booster, right? ZNR, a little bit, because, listen to that. Just a little bit of noise reduction. Heavy, man, heavy. Here's your amplifier, Boogie Drive, right? The other one was Boogie Crunch, remember? This is Boogie Drive. Gain on 100. Tone full up, I think, which is 30. And the level is 83, right?